Hello and welcome to the Winning Agenda's coverage of the International Twilight Struggle League. My name's Jesse Marshall and I'm here with my, 14th game from the league against Noah King. So we're playing as the USA and we've got a pretty interesting hand here. We'll just ask Noah if it's okay for record. So we've got Marshall Plan, Middle East scoring, probably two of the best US headlines, and Defectors, which is the third best. So interesting choices to make. We've also got Truman, which is nice for fighting for Europe, and it means that we're more likely to be able to score Europe for VPs. So since we've got 2 or 3 scoring cards and a lot of ops, I want to give ourselves the best chance to score domination in both of these regions. So what that's going to mean is that we're probably going to want to headline Middle East scoring an AR1 Marshall Plan. But we also want to defend ourselves from Italy getting cooed. And if we headline Middle East scoring, then it's more likely that Italy's going to get cooed. Very good. So the choice is whether we do a Marshall Plan setup and headline it. But since I think we're not going to headline it and we're just probably going to bank the Middle East scoring points, kind of creates some awkward tension for us. Because if we do... if we do headline Middle East scoring, it's really likely that Italy's going to get cooed, which means that we want the extra ops in there. So let's just have a look at what a standard setup looks like. I think because we've got duck and cover, although we do need to be careful of blockade, so we probably need to hold that. Yeah, it makes... I think we probably want to put at least one in France is the problem. So perhaps we go like... no, we can't do that. We have to put one in France now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then we'd have to go like that. So the downside of that is if we get socialist governments, they can walk in. The upside is we definitely get to bank these VPs. And we can potentially use Truman to get them out with Italy. And certainly can defend France. And we're unlikely to get dominated. I think that this way is the best because socialist governments is the only really bad headline for us. And we leave open the opportunity to take France with Marshall Plan. To take France with one of our other cards, such as Independence Reds or Defectors in an action round. Although we may want to hold Defectors for next turn. This also means that we're more likely to hold on to Iran because they're less likely to coup it, which means that we're more likely to get presence in Asia that way. And the downside of not headlining Defectors on turn 1 is that they potentially get good Asia-related headlines, such as Decol or Vietnam Revolts, without us being able to contest them. But the fact that we can put potentially so many VPs on the board this turn, I think offsets the damage that could be done in Asia. And the fact that we are more likely to either retain the access through Iran or score Europe for domination means that we're likely to either get into Asia or bank these VPs. So I'm feeling okay about that. So let's see where the coup goes. So it does go to Italy and it's successful. But that's okay because we can still either take Italy with duck and cover or do what I think is better and go 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have Truman to defend France here. So the only way that they can really guarantee themselves France is by spending a 4-op to do it. So I don't love it, but I think it's more important for us to hold on to this access right now. I think that's true. Because we can always... The annoying thing is, if they do have a 4-up, they can get France and deny us the opportunity to dominate Europe this turn, which is a little annoying. But I think retaining access in this area of the world is too important. And we are threatening in Asia now as well. So if you're the Soviet player, yeah, I don't know if you're willing to dedicate a 4-up to taking France at this point. But we'll see. We may have telegraphed, oh dear, did the old zoom in. We may have telegraphed France a little bit too hard by putting the 1 there, but I think it was important for a couple of reasons. One was that it allowed us to go back into Italy there with the coup, because we knew that we were going to leave Italy a little weaker. The other reason was that it allows us to take it, as we said earlier, in an action round later on, so it's not too bad. So taking Lebanon, okay. Now I think we need to remember hold on to duck and cover, which is the whole reason we went into France. So let's go independent reds into France and just see what the response is from our opponent. So we're holding this just in case of blockades, and we've got Truman Doctrine to defend our battlegrounds from influence jamming. So the response from them pretty much has to be to take 2 non-battlegrounds, which is obviously more realistic if they have a 4-up. Now that Marshall Plan's out of the way and we didn't use it for the event. But I think it was really important that we not use it for the event because we needed to take Italy back on our first action round. And we needed to place this threat somewhere in Asia. So I think, yeah, foregoing the Marshall Plan wasn't too bad there. And this way, I think if we can hold on to defectors, so their headline as well with Captured Nazi Scientist, yes, it's a card you want to event, and yes, it's a low ops card, so it's good to get out of your hand in the headline phase, but it does somewhat telegraph, especially since we had a very blue hand, that they didn't have a lot of their more powerful Soviet events, and those cards are still in the deck. De Gaulle would have even been okay because we'd placed the 1 in France, so they're at least getting more value out of it. Suez Crisis would have been fine. Vietnam would have been really good. Deco would have been really good. So it tells me, their headline tells me that those things are probably still in the deck, and we're more likely to hit them on turn 2 with our defectors if we hold on to it. We're also less likely to space Fidel this turn, I think, since it's already happened. Okay. So now we'll place 2 with Fidel. We do also need to remember to degrade DEFCON this turn. Now this, in combination with Truman, is going to guarantee us France. So we'll see if they go for some influence jamming. It's great that De Gaulle's out of the deck now as well. So De Gaulle's gone, Comicon's gone, Fidel's gone. So we're doing well at stacking the deck as far as turn 3 in the mid-war goes. And we hope that they dump all of these in France. Excellent news. So not only does this give us an Asian battleground, but it also gives us France, which is really sweet. Alright, so we chewed up an on-color 3-ups card for them. So unhappy with that, fair enough. On-color 3-ups card and a 4-ups card that gave us a good effect. And now we get to bank the 5 VPs. So that worked out just about as well as we could possibly imagine. I think we just now need to make sure that we coup on our last action round. And I don't know what it's going to be. We might coup South Korea. We'll see how we go. Okay. Cool. So we can actually use this for the coup and then use duck and cover for ops, I think, which is much better. So they've got no cards left in hand. Unfortunately, CIA is gone, but what can you do? So what do we want to coup? I think... Iraq or South Korea? I think South Korea. Okay. And then we get to place influence. And I think we'll go 1. 2, 3. Do we take Pakistan? I think so, even though it gives them a decent coup target. Like, let's just make them succeed. Okay, so we got a lot of the good red cards, which is, again, pretty good for us, and we can either turn them all into 4-ups, or we can red scare them, or we can defectors. Boy, I'm kind of tempted to hold on to one of these 2 other amazing headlines for turn 3. Probably red scare, holding that through the reshuffle is good. But yeah, the choice is, so that the best, they could have Vietnam, which is obviously relevant because Asia's up for scoring, or they could have Decol. And I think either of those we want to stop. So I think defectors is pretty important. And we're going to have to blockade ourselves, so we're actually not going to be able to hold on to anything, are we? Which is a bit of a problem. But still, I think we need to headline this. Yeah. So yeah, unfortunate that we're probably not going to get good use out of these, but at least we get to reshuffle containment. And it'll, come out presumably in the mid-war. So yeah, as expected, China card on Pakistan. Again, goes about as well for us as we could hope. And now we get to take 2 countries in Asia. And our opponent's pretty unhappy with the luck. Which is fair enough, because that was a pretty important coup for them, particularly if they do have Asia scoring this turn. It's going to make things a little challenging. It'd be good for us to try and shore up the Europe position. They might have NORAD. Presumably they're going to space it rather than play it. But Canada could be an opportunity for us to take a country, to put ourselves back in a domination position. NASA is still in the deck, so we're probably not going to move into Egypt, so we might move into Jordan. But I think we'll probably space Suez Crisis rather than play it anyway, to be honest. Okay, unfortunate that we didn't get Warsaw. But let's go... sorry, did we get NATO? So I think probably let's go with... So we want to take India, but I think we'll just take Afghanistan first, actually, to shore up Indo-Pakistani war. And then look to get to Burma before taking India. Might be the way to go. We also want to overprotect Thailand from Decol at some point in the turn. It's worth remembering. I don't love that Lao one, actually. I do think like this is worth a VP and an extra roll on IP War. But yeah, this 3rd influence, I think we want to probably put elsewhere. So it's either overprotect Italy, overprotect France, but now that de Gaulle's gone, I'm a bit less fussed about that since we got Suez as well. And really, I think not battlegrounds are going to be the issue in Europe. other potential is overprotect Pakistan or start the Panama, Costa Rica sort of situation, or look to the Middle East. Now that Truman's gone, yeah, we're gonna get rid of blockade. Let's go Iraq. So we're probably going to have to eat socialist governments for net nothing in some action round, because we probably want to space Suez and blockade D-style, which means that, yeah, we'll have to play SOCGov. So we've really only got blockade and containment ops for the rest of the turn. Okay, so they bank the 2 ops from there, fair enough. Take that. I think right now the board's sitting in a decent enough state that I'm happy to just do this. Okay. So I do wonder if our opponent has Asia this turn. Perhaps they're just waiting on the IP war for us to move into India, but they're not really forcing us to do that at the moment, given that we're still sitting on domination. So we might do the SOCGov thing next turn. Sorry, next AR. Okay. So I'll just trigger that. Get that done. Also, yeah, getting the China card on turn 2 is pretty sweet as well for us. As it'll let us respond to any kind of other shenanigans that come our way. Okay, well there's the Asia scoring, that's nice. I don't think we're going to be able to really get domination back in other regions very quickly, but that's okay. We'll just start moving elsewhere on the board at this point, I think. So we'll place one here, this AR, and then I think we'll go Zaire, Angola, Thailand possibly. Truman's gone, Warsaw's gone, so like the more powerful swingy cards for Europe in terms of swaying battlegrounds are gone, but SOCGov's still a live issue for us in Italy that we do need to also consider and be careful of. Okay, Formosan's not bad to have. So yeah, I think we'll probably actually forget about Africa. Like, it's only turn 2. Just make sure that we shore up this position a bit. And I think we'll go 1, 2, 3, because we don't want to lose Thailand to decal. So we might headline Europe scoring, but if we get SOCGov, that's a bit annoying. We could also go, I think with Marshall Plan, we can more heavily invest, assuming that's our best headline here. East European unrest doesn't let us strip them of any countries at the moment, but if we can Marshall Plan in, take Turkey, reinforce our battlegrounds, and take Canada, Things are looking pretty sweet because then it does get hard for them to take countries when we can just independent reds them. And EU. So yeah, I'm not going to dump the Europe scoring because I think we can actually get up to a domination position here pretty well. They could headline Suez Crisis, but yeah, I think Marshall Plan's our best headline. They're going to headline Decol, I assume, because we know that they've got that. But thankfully, we put that extra one in Thailand, which is going to help. They could coup Iran, they could get to control in the Middle East this turn, which would be really problematic, so we do need to be a little bit careful of that as well. Okay. Well, that's going to be potentially a decent target for our Romanian abdication. Sorry, for our independent reds. I think we'll go into Benelux, but is Austria better? To deny them that country, probably. I think that might be more important this time. So if we go Turkey, Canada, we go 1 up on country count. There's no Truman for us to take Romania, but at least independent reds lets us, for 2 ops, completely deny a country and require 3 ops from them to retake it, which in the current balance of Europe I think is going to be important. They could spend 3 here to take Turkey, which would be annoying, but obviously they're deciding to coup instead. Coming Angola, interesting, especially since they've got decol. So let's use Olympic Games, I think, to take these 2. Then they've got to spend 3 ops to take a country. And then we get to use independent reds if they do. And then they just spend another 3 ops. So we'll go with that. We also know they've got no rad. And they could have D-style. They could have Suez Crisis. Okay. So there goes the decol. And we also know they've got IP war. So we need to be a bit careful of that with India. But I think we can just dump Europe scoring here. Although I am kind of tempted by the opportunity to go 1. I'm not going to use that card. We can use this card instead. And just try and take a few more countries in Asia just to make sure that... actually, no, we do want 3 ups because we want to go 1, 2, 3. Just to make it that little bit harder, and now IP was just a little less appealing, and India's a little harder to take, just in case they have Asia scoring. We don't want to let them just deny the domination with 3 ops. We also got the China card, which we can jam into North Korea potentially. But we have given up African position, but we're also holding on to Iran, which is good. Okay, so this time I think we're happy for them to take the 1 in 3 on IP war. If we go like this, then they get to control it with 3, but it's only like 1 in 3 chance that they get that. Mill-ops are relevant, and so they're, the VPs are relevant, so that's something to consider. Now, the other option is for us to ignore India and go for either Algeria or Colombia. But, you know, the US has better options for getting into those areas, so maybe we don't want to do that. I think one in India, one in Algeria for now is okay. So presumably they'll IP one out and take the 1 in 3. But they may, yeah. Which is excellent. So now we can safely afford to take it. Yeah, which I'm reasonably happy to do. And then, yeah, we've got 2 ARs to score Europe. Okay, great. So there goes the NORAD. We score Europe. And then with our last AR, we get to either finish Angola or, sorry, Algeria, or move into Colombia. Or into Costa Rica, or shore up Panama. I'm not sure which one I'm going to do. Okay. What are we getting rid of? Asia scoring. Okay, nice for them. So we'll event. We don't need to make new intervention. We can hold it if we want to. Question is, do we want to? I guess so. Let's place in Algeria, and I think shoring up Panama's okay. Let's do that. It's always a toss-up. Shore up Panama or going to Costa Rica, but I think we'll go with that. Bear trap, not a bad one here. Middle East yet to be scored. And we've got opportunities in Africa. Lone gunman, not a bad one to get rid of at this point. We can get a few VPs from Alliance for Progress, hopefully. Cuban Missile Crisis, not as effective given that we can't use it to get rid of lone gunman without a coup opportunity. We can also UN intervention lone gunman, but probably rather get rid of it. Willy Brandt we can play. Panama Canal Returned is going to be a nice one for us. Perhaps we headline Bear Trap, take the coup, and then use Panama Canal. I think that's probably the best way to use the turn, and then use Alliance for Progress to try and get a few VPs out of it. So yes, let's go with that. Okay. Slightly unfortunate. Okay, so let's play you an intervention. Lone gunman on Nigeria. What was that? Yeah. Let's go Zaire because of the realignment opportunities. And then we'll go Panama Canal, take Venezuela, Brazil, take Mexico, and then take the 4 VPs, I think. That's probably the plan.
Our goal is not the victory of might, but the vindication of right.
ABM treaty would obviously be annoying.
At the expense of freedom, but both peace
but otherwise
and
we're looking
freedom
okay.
Here in this hemisphere, and we hope around the world.
Can't really play around
God
ABM
willing,
treaty. Oh, there we go.
goal will be achieved.
They had it. Cool. Well, in that case, let's threaten the Angola realigns a little more, perhaps. I still think I want to take the 2 VPs from Alliance for Progress. I think is better than the 2 ops that it's currently worth, and I don't really mind that much about getting it reshuffled. Okay. Cool. So let's do that. Cool. Probably hold Willie for next turn. Might coup Botswana, but might just hold on to that for next turn as an option for Millops. It might be that it's more worthwhile to coup Botswana than to spend the 2 ops from Shuttle Diplomacy. We'll just take those VPs for now. And then we'll think about it. We're not holding anything. What was our hand size reducer? Oh, we used UN intervention, didn't we, on those lone gunmen? So Puppet Governments is gone, which is a bit annoying. So we're now relying on OAS to give us something in South America. And then I think, yeah, we will coup here. That's alright. And then I'll probably use Willy Brandt to take Malaysia, to be honest, depending on what our opponent does now. Okay. I'm instead gonna show up France. Fair enough. So we survived the purged turn in not too bad a shape. And now we get some nice cards. Nothing that's going to allow us to take the coup, but Usura River Skirmish is going to be a nice one here, I think, because we can jam into North Korea, force them to consider responding, and if they don't, we get North Korea. With NATO, if they do, we can coup and activate arms race. We've also can give them the China card, then with culture, they'll have the China card rather. Oh, we play the China card, play Cultural Revolution, then take back the China card. I think that'll be a good turn. So let's go with that. And then we've also got Colonial Rearguards to just kind of add into the mix there somewhere. But this will hopefully stop them from queuing us out of Zaire or Algeria and give us the opportunity to try and dominate Africa this turn. As well. We can also use the Colonial Rearguards influence to make that happen and to try and shore up some, throughout the turn we'll try and shore up some of these Southeast Asian VPs because they are kind of cheap sources of victory points for us that are just hanging. As well as potentially putting 2 into Costa Rica. We might also play into Guatemala for the brush war defense, but also just to make going Mexico really unappealing. Those are some thoughts on some places that our influence could go. And I think whilst our opponent obviously has Asia out of the way, in the long game, if we're putting a lot of pressure on Asia, like if they let us have North Korea and let Asia be worth sort of 10-ish victory points, it just makes it really hard for them to have any kind of inevitability in the long game with such a VP lead for us at the moment. Although, yeah, we obviously do need to be really careful about the other things that are left hanging. So in terms of here, I don't think we need to shore up any other battlegrounds. We could jam 2 into South Korea as well, and threaten to control Asia. I guess that's probably better than just putting them into the Southeast Asian countries at this point. It creates probably a bigger threat, I think. So they responded with their 4. Now we can coup into a non-battleground to give ourselves the mill-ups for the arms race, which I think I want to do. Although maybe I just want the VPs from Nixon and I'm happy to space Cultural Revolution. That could be the case. Because if we can bank 5 VPs this turn, that's pretty sweet. So let's coup... we're potentially giving them back 3 though, so it's a little bit annoying. Plus the 3, they're going to have to get 3 from Wheelbarrow. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be a bit of a wash, really, in terms of VPs, but we'll see how we go. So we'll take the mill-ups by cooing Botswana. Okay. 2 1s in a row. But at least now we get to arms race. And then we can colonial rearguards, and then we can Nixon. And then we've got a space and a Korean War that we hope doesn't go off. Okay, so we're staring down the barrel of South America domination, which is a little annoying. So let's actually reverse the order of things here a little bit, and we'll go 1. Just to get our domination happening, although we don't want to encourage them to coup for arms race reasons. So, thoughts, perhaps we do that. 1, 2, 3.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
No, actually, I think it's better for us to threaten Nigeria more comprehensively like this. Even if they coup, they're unlikely to coup these with a 3-ops card. So 1, 2, 3, 4, I think is better. We'll just try and get those VPs throughout the rest of the turn somewhere. So we're both creating the domination threat here and making it more difficult for them to hold on to Nigeria either way, whether they play there or not. Whether they play there or coup us. Just, it's hard to turn down opportunities to fork. Okay. So, let's go. Probably don't need to use NATO yet. I think we can go 1. Question is, do we go Colombia or go into finish filling up these Southeast Asian countries, or try and get to domination in Central America? I think actually we want that.
Our goal is not the victory of might.
It's just like the more impact and the more regions that we can have, the better.
Not peace at the expense of freedom, but both peace and freedom here in this hemisphere. And we hope around the world.
Okay, there goes our arms race. That's all right.
God willing, that goal will be achieved.
Although we can take it back. We can take it back. Not with Korean War, we can't though. No, I don't think we are going to take it back. That's all right. Instead, let's go take the domination back, and we'll play into probably Saudi Arabia here. Oh no, we'll just take that. Keep taking these Southeast Asian VPs.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth.
Okay, so let's go 1. 2, 3, 4. Just threaten to even out the Middle East. Giving away the 8 VPs is going to suck, but we haven't really had that much of a choice with that unfortunately timed ABM.
Can we forge against these enemies a grand and global alliance, north and south, east and west, that can assure a more fruitful life for all mankind? Will you join in that historic effort?
Okay. Let's hope that South America scoring is here. Well, that can go, and that can go. We'll take the Cultural Revolution space first, I think. Nope. Not so good on the space race. My version of the old Americans. Probably should have Space Korean War there actually because of flower power. Totally forgot about that. Anyway, we'll take those VPs. And we can Space Korean War this time. Okay, VOA. D-style assault negotiations will let us get back anything ABM or Red Scare. Both seem pretty good. We could do puppet governments, is not particularly impactful right now. NORAD not impactful. Yeah, so I think it's ABM or Red Scare probably at this point. Headlines. Sadat is fine, OAS is fine, but a bit too late now that South America unfortunately got scored. VOA, we can cause a few problems towards the end of the turn. I think it's probably John Paul. And then we fight during the turn with the OAS. So yeah, slightly complicated hand. Interesting. Presumably I'm just going to Mexico. I think we've got the cards to deal with that, hopefully. Oh no, Panama, okay. Cool. Well, okay. Unfortunate. Just like at the start of the game, us having control of the scoring cards is very good. Them having control of the scoring cards now has been very good for them. So we're a little short on op ops this turn, really. Aren't we? Can't really eat socialist governments. We don't really want to eat D-style. We don't want to eat Korean War. We don't really want to eat liberation theology because that'll undo anything we do repairing those two countries. We don't particularly want to give over the China card because we don't want to die-to-lane gunman next turn. This is a challenging hand to know what to do with. So this is a pretty bad Voice of America if we do it this way, especially since the region's just been scored. So I'm not super keen to do that. I actually think we want to Sadat first, and then Voice of America them out of Libya, since the Middle East is unscored. So let's go with that. I mean, I know we're leaving Panama and Mexico now open for them to take, but I think our hand is difficult enough that we've just got to focus on regions that are unscored and giving ourselves the best position possible there. We might also want to use VOA and Botswana because our coups have been spectacularly unsuccessful. Although, okay. That is very unfortunate. I don't really want to raise DEFCON with Salt supremely much. And whilst getting back Red Scar Avia would be nice, I think perhaps we just want the ops right now. Because I don't really want to give them Mexico before the next score. So, 1, 2... Three will overprotect Nigeria. No, if they flip it, it's just such a bad use of 3 ops for them. 1, 2... Three. China got to take Poland may be worthwhile. Where is this Voice of America going to go? Ah, this is all our Christmases have come at once. I think we'll get rid of Korean War because that's priority number 1 to get rid of in our hand. Okay. Perhaps not all our Christmases have come at once. We shouldn't speak too soon when it comes to a quagmire. Hopefully we get out of it in the next 2 hours. Okay, go to that one. Oh dear. Okay, so it looks like we might be losing France. That's unfortunate. Oh, Italy. Italy and France. That'd be very bad. Yes. That did not work out very well for us. So things could certainly have worked out better this turn. So we've got 2 ARs left. I think we'll go with this to here and here. Damn. These scoring cards just are not loving us. Now we can... I think this is probably the best way to use that. Or is it? So we know that Africa's going to get scored next turn. Middle East coming back, so Libya would be okay. France is still hanging and Poland's still hanging, so we need to make sure we get them back, but we can't really forego the event on VOA. Yeah, I think that's okay. Like, it forces them to coup them. And we can headline Junta, okay. Or we can headline Containment, but I think Junta's better. And we can try and hold Containment for next turn. Yep. Containment's pretty sweet here. Just for pure ops, but it gives them the coup. Perhaps giving them a coup isn't so bad. Depending on, if they actually have a good ops card or not. Containment gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, and then potentially a couple more ops. I think that's probably better. Because we do need to just fill up some things around the board this turn. So they've got grain sales, which may have been another reason to junta there, actually. They're not going to die to it, are they? No, because they can still space a 2 ops card. So they can space grain sales this turn. Okay. So they're going for the Africa score. I don't think we want to chance it on trying to flip something. So let's use our ops. So we're not going to use salt this turn for the events. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4 to start with. Could have gone France there, but see how we go. So we're going to hold on Shay for a while. See how this plays out. And OPEC, we don't really want to give them those VPs, but let's try and fight for these Africa VPs if we can. Okay. That makes it a bit more challenging, but let's coup them out of Angola. This. Sorry, coup them out of Botswana. Nope. Didn't quite get there in the way we wanted. Okay, so they're happy to take the draw, fair enough. So now we get to go... So I think we'll place influence 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see what happens there. Probably could have taken Poland there actually instead of worrying about France because of our ops lead and the fact that we're under containment. But let's see how this plays out. We know that Warsaw's out of the game. Okay. Space racing, big grain sales. So no more 2 ops spaces for them. Do we want to give them 3 from OPEC? Not really. I think we'd probably rather give them Shay. It's a bit ugly. But yeah, I think we'd rather give it to them. Okay. Let's go Poland. Just get another VP in Asia there. Might consider going Uruguay and then cooing Colombia with Junta, unless we want to really hold on to it for headline, but not necessarily feeling it, although headlining it and trying to kick them out of Cuba might be good actually with the realigns, or even just doing that now. Yeah, actually, let's do that. I think that's good. Not the best news. Really don't want to lose that Asia scoring. For those of you who've watched a few of my league games, you would have seen that in my game against Young Bay, it got Aldrich Ames'd, which I was very distressed about, and only just managed to hold on to the game in that one. Okay, cool, don't mind that. Cool. Get rid of these. Yeah. Let's go. Where do we want to cause some problems here? I think maybe 1, 2. Three, 4 is the answer. Although it's pretty bad if we get cooed out of there now. We just give them the opportunity to realign us. Yeah, I don't really want to do that. So where we 1, 2. I think maybe overprotecting some Asian countries might be a good place to go. Or threatening to get back into South Africa. That might be better. So we could have killed them, potentially. Well, they don't really. They still had the opportunity to space 2 cards. If we'd rolled better on the space race, perhaps we could have. So we're not going to get defectors. That's okay. I think we'll take Egypt and then 1 into South Africa. No, that seems bad. Let's go 1 into Libya, 2 into Egypt. So all in all, not a bad turn. Yeah, we really don't want to get this Aldrich Ames. And they could have Decol, which would be not the best. What can we do here? Maybe we headline South America scoring. Puppet governments is not amazing. Nuclear subs is okay as a headline here. CMC, again, not amazing. One small step, not great. I think we headline this because I don't think Decol can go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we still control 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to his 1, 2, 3, 4. And we've got 4 to 2.
Today,
Yeah.
Today I say, as long as this gate is closed, as long as this scar of a wall is permitted to stand, it is not the German question alone that remains open, but the question of freedom for all mankind.
Yeah, so this South America scoring is going to potentially be a problem for us, because I think we're going to get cooed there. But I think it's more important to bank those 8 VPs. I'm just terrified of Aldrich James. Which may be a little bit paranoid of me, but that's okay. And we can actually look to dominate the Middle East potentially here as well. Although we are in a bit of a pickle with Muslim revolution. Okay. That's unfortunate. Hopefully not Europe scoring.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Okay, so let's go with... What's the best we can do in Europe? 1, 2, 3, 4, which doesn't look amazing. We could also do 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's go with that. This is not great news for us. So grain sales is in the bin, isn't it?
С праздником всех вас, дорогие товарищи! Пусть он укрепит нас.
CIA's gone, grain sales is gone, Duck and Cover's in the bin, so there's limited opportunities for us to kill them. Except with tear down this wall. So yeah, I think we obviously have to prioritize scoring regions anyway, but it's going to be even more of a priority in this game because DEFCON's not really an option for us. So it looks like they've got Central America scoring. Lone Gunman is still out there, and I really don't want to die to it. I think let's just do this. I mean, if they've got the scoring card, they'll probably just trigger it now and take the 1 VP. Maybe worth us triggering nuclear subs. There's just so much up for grabs on the board this turn, and it looks like we're both pretty ops poor, judging by both of our early plays. Okay, interesting. So there's a VP at least, that's nice. Let's go 1, 2, actually other way around. 1, 2. Yeah, perhaps we'll nuclear subs next turn. Okay, there comes Solidarity. Cool. I think I'll probably then just play Puppet Governments, to be honest, and go...
The totalitarian world produces backwardness because
just
it does
to get our
such
domination
violence
back.
to the spirit, thwarting
And
the
then,
human impulse to create, to enjoy, to
Jordan's
worship.
actually not a bad one for us here. Like, maybe that's not better than cooing, but just because of the mill-ups, but we'll see how we go. Okay. That is unfortunate. And I still don't think we can afford to play Muslim Revolution. Let's just do this for now. Score that for even. Z's. We're just going to have to wait till next turn until we have more ops to be able to do some more stuff. Oof. Okay. Damn. Let's space this. Oh, we just cannot build rockets, can we? We're just not good at it at all. Let's hope we can hold on to this and hope that an evil empire comes so that at least the flower power goes away. And we can trigger this with slightly less of a liability for us. I think the question confronting us is whether we take back West Germany or whether we coup for the VPs. And I think the answer is that we will coup on Haiti. Actually, I'm going to coup Guatemala. Okay. So headlining rearguards, not amazing. Headlining East European unrest, pretty decent. Kitchen debates, okay. But I like East European unrest because it also lets us potentially bag this op from Romania. VP from Romania, rather, I should say. We can use Latin American death crisis to get rid of this Pershing. And everything else is manageable, I think. Hoping that we do get an evil empire this time. Good that we were able to work our way back in South America. I mean, we just gained 8 VPs from that one OAS-founded VOA play, basically, which, yeah, is pretty worthwhile considering the general state of the board. So it's 3 countries, 2 each, right? Yeah. So yeah, I think we'll go East Germany, Romania, Austria, probably. It's a very interesting European setup in terms of influence. I haven't seen something quite like this for quite a while. But we're looking at a potential pretty decent VP boon, considering we'll have both Poland and Romania, assuming that we can pull off West Germany. Damn, there goes that Europe scoring. Ah, well, not much we can do there. 2, 3. So Aldrich James did come back to get us, but not in Asia. He came to Europe this time. I mean, I don't think it can be anything but Europe scoring. Perhaps our opponent's just taking a good think about maybe colonial rearguards, I guess. Perhaps they're also thinking about whether their ops will allow them to just jam into West Germany this time, which may be the case. So Middle East, Central America, Europe remain unscored. Middle East, a little more challenging for us, but we can just chuck 2 into Libya, depending on where they coup. Okay, well at least we got away from that. That's good to know. Alright, so in that case, let's use Latin American debt crisis to... We actually don't need to discard, to be honest, because we're happy, I think, for them to double in South America. Yeah. So let's go 1, 2. No, let's go. Yeah, I think that's actually just West Germany is more important than Libya in terms of final scoring. So 1, 2, and do not discard. I mean, maybe we'd rather get rid of Pershing than have it in our hand, but don't really know. About that. Like, we may just desperately need 3 ops at some point in the turn. Okay, overprotecting. So we can just finish that. And go here. And then we've got the Portuguese for the finishing Libya. I think we'll probably try and pop kitchen debates as well as soon as we can. We get a VP. They get to take Argentina off us. Pretty annoying. Thatcher the betrayer, as usual. Okay.
The totalitarian world produces backwardness because it does
Whilst this
such
is still active,
violence
we'll
to
just
the
take the
spirit,
VPs.
thwarting the human impulse to create, to enjoy, to worship.
And hope that they don't have that scoring card. Okay, fingers crossed. So now I think we'll take that back. We'll go Libya and probably one in South Africa actually. So we've got 3 hours left. I mean, we've held Korean War all this time. Sorry, we've held the China card all this time. I don't really feel like it's right to give it over to them for turn 10. We know that War Games is out of the deck, which is nice, because I do think we're sitting on a slightly better board position in general, with the exception of the fact that the Middle East is outstanding, and I think they're at an advantage there. Although Muslim Revolution and Marine Barracks bombing are both out of the way now, as is NASA, and Camp David is still in the deck. We've also got Chernobyl Tear Down This Wall and VOA still in the deck. Oh, interesting.
Mr. Gorbachev,
Okay.
tear down this wall.
We could potentially look to eliminate Asian presence actually on turn 10. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3. Where else do we go? Probably one for Thailand, just in case we get culture revolutioned, but there may be better options. Sudan may be better. Botswana may be better. Yeah, I think Botswana is a more aggressive play. Finally, we are in space. So they're getting Eagle has landed, or Bear has landed rather. But yeah, this option to potentially deny Asia presence on AR7 next turn could be big. Because that's another, what, 3 VPs? 5 VPs if we also count the battleground countries. So it's at least something that they might have to think about responding to. And in terms of them removing 3 from West European countries, I mean, we're going to have to replace those. So we're going to have to just give them the VP from this and immediately replace the cards. But importantly, not discarding it has allowed us to hold on to the China card. Because what was our other hand size reducer? Ultra James, of course, in the headline. Had forgotten about that. Okay. Well, that's big, and I don't like it. But hopefully we can overcome that with our presence elsewhere. use this one. Yeah, somewhere else. Where though? Probably South Africa. Yep, I think that's going to be important. So our opponent could discard whatever this card is. Force America. That's unfortunate. Alright, tear down this wall is going to be nice, but we've also got Soviets, so I think we'll use tear down this wall in a subsequent action round, and we'll use KAL now. We've also got North Sea oil, which we may want to use, and Glasnost is unplayable, so we probably won't play North Sea oil for that reason. South African unrest is going to be slightly annoying, but let's use the Soviets shoot down KAL just for the VPs. The other options are pretty bad, I think. Yep. What does tear down this wall let us do? Realigns East Germany pretty well. Yeah. The only other option is to use it to coup Italy, but it's not really great with 7 there. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll just take the VPs.
The totalitarian world produces backwardness because it does such violence to the spirit, thwarting the human impulse to create, to enjoy, to worship.
So we haven't got heaps of options for getting into South America here. So we're probably going to have to make do with giving that away, just coup Colombia at some point and try and get a presence. Or move into Uruguay. Okay. Cool. Sue. We can go... That doesn't give us domination. We can go... Ooh, do we just need to take one country? No, we take 2. In Central America. So we can go 1. Oof, need to be this. Yuck, don't love that. 1, 2, 3, 4. All of that for 2 VPs. Alternatively, we get Milops, which I probably prefer. So I think we use NORAD to coup Haiti. Gets us the domination, gets us the VPs from arms race. I think that's better. Okay. Well, sometimes you get unlucky. Let's play this. We've still got 7 ARs, but we're going to have to give them Glasnost or Decol. Okay. We'll probably give them Glasnost to place 4, which sucks. You know, like that was unfortunate. Would have been great for that to hit pretty much any of the other cards in our hand. Alright. Decol. Yeah. So Glasnost gives them 2 VPs, gives them 4 ops, but gives us a coup. But what can they break? They can break into Europe with it. That's pretty bad for us. Like, I think I'd rather give them decal.
Today I say, as long as this gate is closed, as long as this scar of a wall is permitted to stand, it is not the German question alone that remains open, but the question of freedom for all mankind.
Ooh, it's gonna be really close. Yeah, I think we might lose here, but yeah, it's gonna be very, very close. Depends what they've got, really. Okay, we'll take back these. See where we end up.
Și de aceea trebuie să apărăm cu toate forțele integritatea și independența României. Or do we coup? I think we coup and then we try and break Argentina with like North Sea oil. Yeah, second last. So let's coup Haiti.
The totalitarian world produces backwardness
Okay.
because it does such violence to the spirit, thwarting the human impulse to create, to enjoy, to worship.
Well, that was lucky. So let's space race the Glasnost now. Yes, that's good because that denies them the opportunity to space shuttle. Okay. And then yeah, I think it's got to be North Sea oil into Argentina. Probably is our only chance. And then hope that they don't have enough to take it back. If they do, then we move elsewhere. If they don't, then we get to deny them these. That's okay, I think. Okay, well they've seen that coming anyway. In Asia, so I think that we can't deny them presence. So I think we do this actually. And then we can cut their domination in 2 places, hopefully. Oh, yeah, this is good. We're gonna get there, I think. Nice. So we can go 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to leave them with 4, 8, 13 to our many more. 14, 18. GG. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. It was a really tense and close game. And I will have another one coming up very shortly. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. Leave all your thoughts in the comments as always, and we'll talk to you all very soon. Thanks for watching. I've been Jesse Marshall for The Winning Agenda.